Okay, guys, it's Jet 888 here. Sorry about that. It's April 4th, second time around here because I have more information regarding the spraying that I saw some subcontractors from San Diego Gas and Electric out front trying to put this stuff on my pole, my telephone pole, not mine, but the telephone pole out front. This is the tag that they left. This isn't my tag, it's my neighbor's tag, but they showed this. It's Davy Tree 2023, and that says, if you look at it backwards, G Fume. They put it backwards, but it's G Fume, and then it has the number 96 on the back of it. So this is what they were putting in here. It says granule internal treatment fumigant. There's the chemical application. There's another shorter name for this. So it's a fumigant. Fumigants are either toxic gases or substances that produce toxic gases that are lethal when inhaled. They're lethal when inhaled, and they were doing this right by my horses. And it's San Diego Gas and Electric who's hiring these subcontractors. SDG.com, SDG and E. That's weird. Usually it says SDG and E, but it's SDG e.com, and it's a Simpra company. So here's the chemical. It's called Dazomet, and that's what the container. So I saw some San Diego Gas and Electric subcontractors come up and trying to start digging a hole at the base of my pole, and they look like they're going to inject something in the wood. At least they said that they're going to try to inject something in the wood. So I did some more research on what Dazomet is. Here's the patent, US 5989597 by Ambrose Rajamanan, who was the inventor of the novel process of continuously and instantaneously sterilizing soil. But guess what? It sterilizes people and things too. Anything, it's a bacteriologist too. It will sterilize anything from reproducing. And it mentions here soil that would be completely sterilized. It sterilizes everything. So I went and looked at this, United States Environmental Protection Agency. Yeah, they're doing a great job. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency Office of Pesticide Programs, red fact sheet, Dazomet. So regarding its regulatory history, Dazomet was first registered in the United States in 1967 as an algicide, bacteriostat, and a microbicide. So bacteriostatic, it's capable of inhibiting the growth of reproduction of bacteria, which we all need bacteria. You know how much bacteria you have in your gut? Friendly bacteria, capable of killing bacteria outright. So this goes to say ecological effects and risks. Dazomet is acutely toxic to mammals and birds that could be exposed to unincorporated Dazomet granules. Potential exposure to aquatic organisms may occur from surface runoff, and guess what? I'm right above a riverbed. This also has stuff called MITC in it. MITC is acutely toxic to aquatic invertebrates and fish. Where have they been doing that lately? Have you noticed? Ohio, maybe? So this says, due to the current data gaps for Dazomet and MITC, the agency is requiring additional ecotoxicity studies for both terrestrial and aquatic organisms. Here it also mentions posting. EPA is requiring that buffer zones be posted at usual points of entry and along likely routes of approach to the buffer unless a physical barrier such as a fence prevents access to the buffer, which this didn't. This was out on the street. Okay, so now I'm looking at the patent by Ambrose H.J. Rajamanan that I showed you earlier. So process for sterilizing soil. It says a process for continuously and instantaneously sterilizing soil comprising the steps of applying a water-activated chemical fumigant below the surface of the soil, which you'll see, these pictures I show you, you'll see that it's not always below the surface, which simultaneously applying water to the soil below the surface. The soil chemical fumigant and water are thoroughly mixed to cause instantaneous reaction of 100% of the chemical fumigant to produce a fumigant gas. So next time it rains, I wonder what's going to happen. So it says it kills the pathogens contained therein. Bacteria. Soil needs bacteria. Do you know that? I'm sure most of you know that. Friendly bacteria is all throughout the soil. Down below this little talks about some classifications. It's also part of this in this family is apparatus for the destruction of noxious animals. I wonder if we're considered noxious animals. By some groups we are, I'm sure, other than insects, by hot water, steam, hot air, or electricity. Imagine that. You're right below a telephone pole. Now get this, in the description, field of the invention, it goes, invention relates to a process for sterilizing soil, and more specifically to a continuous process for applying a water-activated fumigant and a supply of water for activating the sterilizing fumigant. But listen to this. So the background of the invention, methyl bromide, the fumigant that is commonly used today around the world for killing soil pathogens, is being phased out from production and use by the year 2000, as it has been proven to destroy the ozone layer. What year is it? It's 2023. That's interesting. San Diego Gas and Electric is using this now. Other fumigants currently available, such as metamsodium, it's got a longer name there. There's Dazomet and hydrous ammonia, have been found not to be as good as methyl bromide. These fumigants are water-activated fumigants and require the presence of water to produce the necessary reaction and the production of the sterilizing fumigant gas. So in the claims for this, it is a process for continuously and instantaneously sterilizing the soil, and it also mentions that down here too. So basically, also anytime it gets wet, it will create that fumigant gas. 100% of the chemical to produce a fumigant gas when it gets wet. So the container that I saw that guy was holding, that I asked to see what it was, it did say G Fume 96 is what it said. And that is what this is. Thiodiazine, sorry, that's the first part, tetrahydro. And it was 98% also of this. Tetrahydro dimethyl thiodiazine thione, without all those numbers. How expensive? I mean, they're paying more to kill us than they did with the needle crafting. Isn't that interesting? So I opened a PDF file here, Poles Inc. And I did talk to the, I don't know if he's the owner or what, but I did call him and we did talk about this. Other ingredients, only 2% of other ingredients, and who knows what's in there. Only 2% of other. So dangers right here. I'm going to look at this real quick. Oh, by the way, here's the company, Poles Inc. It's Colorado Springs, Colorado, and look at all those threes, 719-685-0333. But the number I called today and who I talked to was 619-955-000, let's see, 1. So we had a long talk. So precautionary statements, hazards to humans and domestic animals. And here's my dog right in the front area, and she just happened, I mean, it's so weird because she's only out there with me for a couple minutes, and she is not looking good at all. And I went and saw, she looked like she was getting sick, and sure enough, here's a video of it. She had thrown up. Where, right there. See the throw up? She threw up, and she was only out there less than probably 15 minutes, but she was not a happy camper. And these animals were right where that guy was, where they were drilling holes in the poles and spraying, and look how she is not happy. I am right above a riverbed too. Danger, corrosive to skin, causes burns, may be fatal if swallowed, harmful if absorbed through skin. It also mentioned in this other document I saw, it said when it's windy out, it said it's even more effective, like it spreads more. Personal protection, that's your PPE. Environmental hazards. This pesticide is toxic to fish, aquatic invertebrates, oyster, shrimp, And you know what's funny about that? Not funny, but just a few years ago, they closed all my riding trails down, or this main riding trail, because of fairy shrimp. They were concerned with a fairy shrimp. But here they are killing or spraying stuff or using material that not only does it kill the ozone, it's also killing any water aquatic stuff, animals. This pesticide is expected to be toxic when in contact with terrestrial or aquatic plants. Do not discharge effluent containing this product into lakes, streams, ponds, estuaries, oceans, or other waters. But they're right above a riverbed, which all this water goes right into the riverbed, unless in accordance with the requirements of the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination Systems. Are they eliminating us? Probably. Okay, so this also talks about the wood and wood products, which is what they were using this for. They're putting it in the wood poles and pilings. It's designed to be placed inside the wood product to be treated. Do not treat structures, beams indoors. See drilling, hole intersects. They tell you, they give some instructions on what they expect here. Plug the treatment hole with a tight-fitting treated wooden dowel, removable plastic plug, or other suitable cap. Now this is one of the caps that they had they just installed this into my neighbor's, because I saw on this telephone pole had 2 of these plugs. So you know the toxin is inside there, the holes that they drilled. Now here's a hole from my other neighbors that they did, and look at, where's the top? The top doesn't look, it looks like you can actually see down inside there. So it looks like eventually the top erodes away. So on this pole, they've done this in 1988. They did it in 2001. That's by Osmos. Wood fume. They're still using the word fume. And here's, where does it go? This is the same company, Davy. I think that this was inspected in 2013. Fume. And here's another neighbor's pole that shows another plug that looks like it's been compromised. That top plug doesn't look like it's there anymore. And here's another neighbor that just got it today. Here's his, I showed this already. And here was my telephone pole, way above ground. I don't know why they're digging below ground, but this is a way above ground. And here's one of the holes that they put in my pole. That sounded weird, didn't it? But here's another pole from another neighbor's that they put above ground. And the guy who I talked to today, he says that they do it underground because it's so toxic. But these are, and she has another plug on the other side of her pole. That was above the ground too. So that's what the plug's supposed to look like. This is what it looks like a couple years later. With that toxic stuff in it, or wherever it's gone, it's a fumigant. So anytime it got wet, it just gassed out. So this was their last revision, May 6, 2020. There's the EPA's number. And just for giggles, Dazomet, the Gematria, the words Khazars, obscure warlike tribe in Turkestan. Okay, so here I find it's FFVA, Florida Fruit and Vegetable Association, on May 30th, year 2007, to a Dr. Debbie Edwards, Office Director, Office of Pesticide Programs, U.S. Environmental Protection Agency in Washington. There was a request for extension of time to submit comments on fumigant, revised health risk assessment, and solicitation of risk reduction options, metam sodium, and here's our Dazomet down there. This is pretty much the chemicals that we're discussing today. So FF and V associations were talking to Dr. Edwards, wondering if they could have an extension of the time that it was going to take them to respond to the, I guess, the toxic effects of these fumigates, or whatever they're, 5 fumigant human health risk assessments. They're asking for an extension to give this information. So this was in Florida, ffva.com. So they say this is a really complicated issue, but they want, what is it in here? After our initial review of the information contained in the revised human health assessments and our preliminary examination of the questions raised and information requested by BEAD, B-E-A-D, I don't know who they are, in the docket, it is clear that we need an extension of at least 90 days to allow us to attempt to provide the quality of review and comments that this proposed regulatory effort deserves. I guess it's better than 75 years, though, isn't it? We've got a helicopter overhead. Sincerely yours, listen to this, Daniel A. Botts, Director of the Environmental and Pest Management Division. So I went to look at the FFVA. I also went to look at this Daniel Botts, and I don't know if this is the same one, but isn't that funny? Spartanburg. But he also has skills in Bluebeam, MS, PowerPoint, blah, blah, blah. BIM field and Plan Grid. This might be completely unrelated, but Plan Grid, I just think these are weird little Spartanburg. Daniel Botts. That looks more like an internment camp to me. Anyhow, carry on. So I went to their website here. Whoa, they just changed on me. Hang on. They're still up and running. 2022, Amelia Island, September 12th through the 14th. I guess they had some kind of conversation regarding Florida agriculture. Yeah, they make it look all so nice, and it says down here, it says for the love of ag, but there's 3/3/30, so this is just recent, March 30th, Women's History Month, as they'll turn everyone into men. And look who their website sponsors are. Let's see, where'd they go? Big W brand. It was Bayer. There's Bayer, aka Monsanto. So honestly, anything that they sponsor is probably highly toxic. Here's another one of their sponsors, AEA, Regenerative Agriculture. So funny, the FFVA, same numerology as Order of Illuminati, but it's funny too because it's also 201, like Event 201. Huh, like the Johns Hopkins University, you know, that with the Bill Gates, Melinda Foundation, that one. It's also Honey Pot. Yep, Honey Pot. Huh. It's also Community. Look at that too. FFVA. FF is 66. That's like false flag, 66. So I'm just saying, if you see people driving around your property and they're trying to inject stuff, poisons or whatever, into your close, even anywhere close to you, you got to stand up and stop it from happening. You know, it's interesting, when I put in the Davy, G Fume 96, I get this global burden of diseases. But look at this. I'm going to open it. There's all these PDFs. Egypt's respiratory health and focus, Department of Air, life and death and disability in 2016. And look at this, global burden of diseases. I'm scrolling all the way to the end of this. Funding, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They funded that. So I wonder, you're going to find what they want you to see. You're not going to find the truth. You're going to find what they want you to see. So Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Research in Context, Global Burden of Diseases, and then they also talk about the WHO and UNICEF. I was looking at an anagram for WHO, World Health Organization, and I came up with a giant wealth lord horizon. And this is my little picture to go with it, because corn and kernel's kind of like war. World Health Organization can also be New World Order radiating hertz. Hello, like, you know, hello, like it's the call out before a hunt. And here's the Three Sisters. That's those radio towers long time ago. They're called the Three Sisters. And here, look at this picture I found from long time ago. It's an old picture. And there's an article about this, February 20th, 2013, Arlington, Virginia. It talks about an old U.S. Navy wireless station in the vicinity of Columbus Pike and Courthouse Road. The trio of radio antennas known to locals as the Three Sisters. And you know, I just thought that was funny. Again, it's radios. Just looking real quick at the numerology, Three Sisters, Sodomic Mind Control, and the Fourth Reich, and Necronancy. This article says the Navy opened Radio Arlington call sign was NAA in 1913. Launching the U.S. military's global communication system, a streetcar stop was even named Radio. So I looked up NAA and its FAME, which is also FEMA, Mecca and FEMA, and MB and Cage. Here's that little jolly green giant. This is a Japanese thing. Look at this. He's holding on to the Empire State Building, which is known for its beams. And I even had a one of my videos got shut down when I brought up the Empire State Building. Isn't that strange? But there he is instead of a gorilla. But the thing I think is weird about the Three Sisters is because Trump, when he was in office, he accepted the little sister from France. And I don't know if I've showed this video yet or not, but see her smiling in the background, that Statue of Liberty? She does not smile, but they're sending a little statue. There is an article, June 16, 2021. A second Statue of Liberty is coming to the U.S. thanks to France. The Petite Sœur, or Little Sister, has been quietly residing in Paris for over a decade. That's because from July 1 through 5th, the city will mark the arrival of a second Statue of Liberty. They want you to know that she's 992 feet tall, and I'm going to do another video on this alone. But 992 is also a vibration and trice oven. And trice is a very short period of time, like an instant. So you have like an instant oven. Can you say microwave? And 992 is also Devil's Pack and founder of the Illuminati. And in the background, they have the word Valor. And Valor has the same numerical value as does vaccines. I'm going to do this. I'm going to follow this up later. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you later. Oh, and notice how she's smiling in the background? Statue of Liberty smiles, and World Health Organization is the same numerology exactly. Okay, guys, be good.